Hey, good morning. It is Monday, February 15th, 2016. It's President's Day. A lot of people are off today, but I'm still here on my grind. It's about 7:40 in the morning. Got here about 5:15 and started my morning routine and just wrapping up and getting some things across. And there was a concept that just kind of like stuck on my head. I was thinking about it last night, and I'm just expounding upon it a little bit more today. And that is I don't know if you remember back in the 80s, there was that movie with Kevin Costner, the baseball movie Field of Dreams. That movie created a phrase that is like the killer of so many businesses, and it's if you build it, they will come. That is the biggest bullshit phrase you're ever going to hear in business, and I can say that is because you know too many times in my own career I fell into the trap of building this nice shiny amazing vehicle and then stick it in the garage and not doing anything about it and wondering why people weren't coming. When I started my schools originally, I was 24 years old. What the hell did I know about anything? I was an idiot, and I was an idiot for a long time. And as I've matured in business, I've started to understand, how to invest my time and my money better so that I can actually develop something. And one of the things is you don't want to put, this the shiny design before the marketing in a lot of ways. And what I mean by that is that if you have a budget, you can't take 99% of your budget and build an amazing facility and leave yourself a couple pennies to then go and talk about it. Unless you've got a built-in student base that's going to be able to support your facility or your business or whatever it is we're talking about, you've really got to save a big, lion's share of your money to develop the marketing strategy to get the word out. Because if people don't know about whatever it is you've built, you're never going to do any business. And it's a big problem. I had the original warehouse gym on the East Coast. To this day, nobody will know about it. I run into people from that day that, it was the couple hundred of us that were involved in the project that'll come back to me and be like, oh my God, that was the most amazing space ever. And it really was. It was, Extreme Couture opened up in Las Vegas and was the first like big super gym. And then you had American Top Team in Florida open up a super gym. But in the meantime, I had a super gym in New Jersey that I had been operating for 2.5 years already. And I had people that came from those gyms who were like, "Oh my God, this place is like the best gym I've ever been to. You have everything." And I was like, "Yeah, we've had everything for a long time, but I didn't invest my time outside of the gym to grow the gym." So eventually, the gym went away. Uh, that's a huge lesson for me. I mean, I pissed away a lot of money by just being stupid. And the majority of that comes from in my industry, in the martial arts industry, because of the mentality a lot of us are brought up in. If you're brought up in a gi wearing, black belt earning style, in a lot of ways the old school instructors are going to tell you put the time in, get your belt, and then everybody's got to listen to you. And that's a very old school mentality. Just because you won something or you've earned something or you've done something doesn't guarantee that people are going to listen to you. And it's really up to you to take that experience, to take the victories, to take the years of training, to take the accomplishments, and then you have to translate them to today's audience. I mean, it's 2016, folks. I can't act like it's 1955 and I'm a Japanese instructor who barely speaks English who was sent around the world to beat people up and teach them what karate was. That era is done. The idea of, well, someone beat on me, so then I'm going to beat on somebody else, and then that person will beat on somebody else, and we'll create a community around everybody beating each other up. Throw a little philosophy in it to, make the wounds have a little bit more meaning. Those days are kind of done. The amount of information that's available today, the amount of options, the tremendous amount of exposure that MMA's brought to the sport. Everybody has a different idea of it. Before it used to be, oh, I'll train for a lifetime and, I'll still never be a master. Now, because of the UFC, everybody thinks, well, I'll train for 6 months, I'll get some fights, and then I'm better than everybody. So it's the Twitter mentality has really permeated our business. So if you want to develop a business and you want to tap into what's going on, you've got to interact in a way that's more appropriate to the time. So you really do have to deal with people that have very short attention spans, that they want immediate results, that they want to be constantly, they want to have the constant impression of new information upon them. So you have to be engaging, you have to be progressive, you have to keep coming up with different ways to say the same thing in most cases. And you just gotta stay engaged, and you gotta stay out there, and you gotta keep promoting your business, and you have to use all the readable technology to promote yourself. Now, when it comes to the promotion of your business, it's an authenticity issue. So if I'm a dick, but I promote myself as a nice guy, it's inauthentic. When it's disingenuous in a lot of ways too. So if I'm a nice guy, but then I come across as a hard ass online, it just it's like when you don't have continuity in your message, or if I say I'm a really technically strong person, but then I don't really focus on technique when I teach class, I'm not really balancing out, who I am with how I'm marketing and all that. So uh, my little rambling here is that you've got to be who you are. You've got to market who you are. You have to create a message around exactly who you are. You have to be completely authentic. So if you meet somebody in the world and then they go and they look you up on Facebook, which most of us do. If I run into someone and I have their name or I get emailed by somebody, first thing I do is I drop them to Facebook so I can get an idea of who this person is. I'm like, are they full of shit? Are they the person that I met, or are they somebody else? So, you know, you have to be in that position. So if I go out in the world, I shake somebody's hand, I tell them who I am, I tell them what I do, they go online, they start looking into me. I better be backing up who I was in front of them online, so that when they go on the Twitters and the Facebooks and the Instagrams and all that stuff, they're going to see exactly who they met and then some. They're going to see a more in-depth version of who they met, because they're going to have a lot more material to sift through than the X amount of time that you spent with them. So you just want to make sure you're authentic and you have continuity through all of your mediums, that you are the same person pushing the same ideas. And then when finally it comes time to service time, when the person comes in, they want to try out your class and they want to work out with you, you better be that same person. You can't flip a switch and be something that you're not. If you're gonna meet them and you're gonna say, "Hey, this is who I am," well, you better be that when you get on the mat, and that's how you're gonna create a long-term, viable business. It's just by being authentic. Don't play a part. Don't try to be Mr. Miyagi or the bad guy in the Karate Kid. Be yourself. Uh, be the martial artist that you wanted to be. Be the business person that you aspire to be. Don't you can emulate the success and the systems from other people, but you've got to do them in your way. My name is Brian Wright, and I am who I am. I'm nobody else. I am going to stay true to who I am, because I've taken the time to see who I am and to then take what I've done and kind of mesh them together and create a message that I can create a benefit for the people in my community. So that's the point. Continuity across the board. Be yourself. Don't try and be somebody else. Emulate the systems and the success, but don't try and take on a persona. A funny one on that one is, it's like, don't be the white guy who takes on the Japanese accent when he's teaching class. Don't be the white guy who takes on a Brazilian accent when he's teaching jujitsu. Be yourself. Use your language. If you're speaking Japanese, speak Japanese. If you're speaking Portuguese, speak Portuguese. But, if you're speaking English, don't do an inflection of either one of them. Be who you are. It's just fucking stupid if you do otherwise. You look like a fool. So be real, be yourself, be the person that you train yourself to be, and then take your victories, take your defeats, take your experiences, take your education, put all that stuff together, analyze it, and then figure out the best way to communicate it, and market the hell out of your business, folks, because it doesn't really matter what you've won, what you've done, where you've been, how good you are, if nobody knows it. You've really got to find the way to crack the riddle of getting the information out there, being authentic, and growing your business. So I hope I've made some sense, and I'm going to go and teach class, because I've got some athletes coming through, and I've got class in about 3 minutes. So talk to you later.